Dear children, today let's begin with the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient method. We finished learning Carl Pearson's rank correlation coefficient, and I have already explained to you that the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is always based on the qualitative aspect. Carl Pearson has given this method based on quantitative aspect, but whereas Spearman has evolved a method of calculating correlation based on qualitative aspect. Now let us see how Spearman has tried to work out the relationship between the variables. Now Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is based on qualitative data. As I said, qualitative data. You know which are the qualitative data, isn't it? The skilled, very skilled, isn't it? Then male, female, talented, all these are the qualitative aspects which gives qualitative attributes. So he has given importance to qualitative aspect, qualitative data. Now Spearman has calculated the rank correlation coefficient on the basis of two aspects. One is when ranks are given and the other one when ranks are not given. When the ranks are given, when the ranks are not given. Okay, so these are the two ways in which he has calculated the correlation coefficient. Now let us see when the ranks are given. Now what was the example? I hope you remember the example that I have given you in the beginning of the class when I took the chapter, when I explained Carl Pearson's correlation coefficient. Now Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, the best method to understand his example is his method will be applicable when we measure the qualitative aspect, isn't it? Therefore, when there is a competition of a live music or a fancy dress or elocution, the judges who are judging the participants, they will be ranking the participants and accordingly the awards will be given, isn't it? So here they are measuring the qualitative attributes of the participants. So this is the best example that you can remember when you do Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. His method is based on qualitative attributes. Now the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is calculated when ranks are given. It is calculated by using the formula Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n cube minus n, where d is the rank difference, n is the number of pairs, and Rk is the rank correlation coefficient. So this formula is Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n cube minus n. N is the number of observations. D is the difference in the rank. If there are two judges who are judging for a music competition, two judges will be giving different ranks for the participants. The difference between these ranks given by the judges is known as D, capital letter D. Now sigma, you know, it is a total. So Rk is the rank correlation coefficient. Now let us see the first example given by Spearman. According to him, in a fancy dress competition, the two judges have recorded the following ranks to 10 participants. Find the rank correlation coefficient. Ranks are what it means what? Rank 1, first rank, second rank, third rank, like that. Okay, now these are the ranks given by the judges, Judge X and Judge Y. Judge X has given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And Judge Y has given 10, 6, 5, 4, 7, 9, 8, 2, 1 and 3. Now how do we calculate the rank correlation coefficient as per the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient? It is Rk is equal to, you know, 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n cube minus n. Now how do you calculate it? For that purpose I have drawn a table with 4 columns and I have written the marks, the rank given by Judge 1 and Judge 2. Now how to find out the difference between the rank? I told you the ranks given by Judge 1 and Judge 2. The difference between these two ranks are D, capital letter D, R1 minus R2. Now what is R1 minus R2 in the first case? This is the rank given by Judge 1. This is the rank given by Judge 2. Now R1 is 1 and R2 is 10. So 1 minus 10 is minus 9. 2 minus 6 is minus 4. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I am differentiating R1 and R2. by judge 1 and the rank given by judge 2. Now 5 minus 7 is equal to minus 2. 6 minus 9 is equal to minus 3. So accordingly I have found the difference, and that is the D, R1 minus R2. Now I have to square that D. When I square it, I will get 9 into 9, 81, 4 into 4, 16, 2 into 2, 4, and so on. And after that, according to the formula, we need Rk is equal to 1 minus sigma of D square by n cube minus n. That means I have to find out the total of D square. The total of D square is 264. After totaling all this, I got the value as 264. Now, therefore, apply the values in the formula. Rk is equal to 1 minus 1 stands common, minus 6 into sigma D square. 1 minus 6 into sigma D square. Isn't it? Numerator. 6 in the numerator. 6 sigma D square. D square is 264. Sigma of D square is 1 minus 6 sigma D square. 6 into sigma of D square is 264 divided by 10 cube minus 10. N is 10. How many observations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 observations are there. N cube minus n. So when you simplify it, you will get 1 minus 1584 divided by 990. That is equal to 1 minus 1.6 is equal to 0.6. So that is, as it is 1 minus 1.6, you can find it is minus 0.6. So what is the comment that you are going to write? There is a negative correlation existing between the two judges, which is fairly high. So this is how you find out the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient when the ranks are given. So this is the easiest method. So if the ranks are given, you can just find out the difference between the two ranks and apply the formula. Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 into sigma D square by n cube minus n. Now we will see the next one where the ranks are not given. What do you mean by that? Instead of the ranks, the judges will be giving the marks for each and every candidate. So if the marks are given instead of ranks, how will you calculate the rank correlation coefficient? So the step 1 is when ranks are given. Step 2 is when the ranks are not given, instead of that marks are given. Now let us see the marks given by both x and y. Okay, x is 15, 14, 15, 17, 14, 13, 11, 12, 16, 18, 10 and 9. And y is 15, 12, 4, 6, 7, 9, 3, 10, 2 and 5. All these are the marks given. Okay, for x as well as for y. For x as well as for y, the marks are given. Okay. Now, let us see how do you find out the rank from the marks. Now, listen carefully. This is the mark given by judge 1. 15, 17, 14, 13, 11, 12, 16, 18, 10, 9. So the next task is to find out the rank. How will you find out the rank? You can either give the first rank to the least value in the marking system, or you can give the rank 1 to the highest mark in the marking system. So any way you can do. What I have done here is, I have given the rank 1 to the least score here, then rank 2 to the next one. So once again I am repeating, you can also give rank 1 to the highest number in highest mark in this series. For example, 18 is the highest one. You can give rank 1 to 18. So you can either give rank from rank 1 to the highest number or to the least number. So from the least to the highest, or from the highest to the least, you can give the rank. Okay, so I have given the rank here beginning from the least number. That is 9 is the smallest number, rank 1 is given there. Then rank 2 is given to the next biggest number, that is 10. The next biggest number is 11, so I have given the rank as 3. The next biggest number is 12, so rank is 4. So likewise, I have given the rank accordingly, and when I reached 18, which is the biggest mark in this series, the rank is 10. So rank 10 is given to the biggest number of the series, or biggest mark of judge 1. Now, this is rank 1. Now, next judge 2 is rank. From judge 2 marks, we have to find out the rank. Now, same as what I have done for the last one, the least value can be given the ranking system, isn't it? Okay, so rank 2 can be found accordingly. Now, rank 2 is rank 2, the least number in the judge 2, the mark given by judge 2, the least mark is 2. So, rank 1 is given there. The next biggest is 3, rank 2 is given there. The next biggest is 4, rank 3 is given there. The next biggest is 5, rank 4 is given there. The next biggest is 6, rank 5 is given there. So, accordingly, I have given the ranking system. So, one thing you have to be very careful. How you have assigned the rank for the first judge, the same way you have to assign the rank for the second judge too. I have told you can either give the rank from the least to the biggest or from the biggest to the least. How you are doing for the first judge, the same you have to do for judge 2. Okay. The other one you have the freedom to choose either to give from least to the highest or from the highest to the least. But when you follow one pattern for judge 1, the same should be followed for judge 2. That is a must. Now the ranking system is done. Rank 1 and rank 2 I have done. After finding the rank, it is quite easy. Find out the difference between the two ranks, R1 and R2. So how will you find out that this is R1 and this is R2? 7 minus 10 is minus 3. 9 minus 9 is 0. 6 minus 3 is 3. So likewise I have found all the R's, differences. Okay, then what we have to do, the same formula will be applying. What is the formula? Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n cube minus n. So for that I have to find out d square. Minus 3 into minus 3, 9. 0 into 0, 0. 3 into 3, 9. 0 into 0, 0. Minus 3 into minus 3, 9. So total you will be getting as sigma d square is equal to 86. Okay, now apply the formula. Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n cube minus n. So applying the value, you will be getting 1 minus 6 into 86 because you know sigma d square is 86 by 10 cube minus 10 is equal to 1 minus 516 by 1000 minus 10. So when you simplify it, you will be getting the answer as 0.48. So how to write? There is a positive rank correlation of moderate degree. This is how you have to write. So it is a necessary, it is a must that you have to write the comment what kind of rank correlation exists between the variables. So here it is 0.48. It is a positive correlation and it is of moderate degree. You have learned a table regarding how to assess the degrees of correlation, isn't it? So based on that you can write the comment. Okay. Now next we will move on to the third pattern, that is when the marks are given but they are equal. For example, the second participant and the third participant is given 10 marks, 10 and 10 by one particular judge. The second and third participant is given the same mark, 10 and 10. So how will you assess the rank correlation during that time? So let us see what do we do at that time. To make you understand, there is an example given here. The marks given by two judges in a 5-seaters competition is as follows. Calculate rank correlation coefficient. Now I will read out the marks for you. The marks given by judge X is 15, 10, 20, 28, 12, again 10, 16, 18. So here 10 is repeated 2 times. That means when the marks given are equal. Now judge Y 16, 14, 10, 12, 11, 15, 18, again 12. So in this situation, how do we calculate the rank correlation coefficient? That is what we are going to learn. Now here there is a big difference in the formula which we will be learning after calculating the values in the table. Now if the marks given are equal, how will you find out the rank? Here, finding the rank and its difference is the most important concept. Therefore, you should know how to find out the rank when the marks given are equal. Now, let us see. From the biggest value, 28, I have assigned the marks. From the biggest value, I have assigned the marks. Now, in the previous problem, we started with the least number. So, let us have a change in this problem. We will just assign the rank from the highest value. So, here the highest mark given is 28. I have recorded the rank as 1. So, this is the highest mark, and the rank given is 1 here. Now, next to it is 20, so rank 2. Next to it is 18, so rank 3. Next to it is 16, so rank 4. Then next to it is 15, so rank 5. Then comes the next one, 12, so it is rank 6, isn't it? Now, then comes the next one, 10 and 10. That means 7 and 8 is the next two rank that has to come, isn't it? 7 and 8, because we have assigned till 6th rank for 12. Now, next rank should be 7th rank, isn't it? And after that, 8th rank. We cannot give 7 and 8 for 10 because since they are same 2 marks, 10 and 10, they are same. Therefore, we cannot give it as 7th rank and 8th rank. It is not fair, isn't it? Till 12, we have given 6th rank. After that, the next number is 10. So, we will give it as 7th rank. After that also, the next number is 10. So, we cannot give it as 8th rank. Since both the 10 marks are equal, we cannot do the discrimination as 7 and 8. Therefore, what do is, we find the average of both the 10s. We will find out the average of the rank. Where do they stand? How do we find out the average of the rank? 7 plus 8 divided by 2. What do we get? 7 plus 8 divided by 2. We will be getting the value as 7.5. So, rank 7 belongs to 10. Rank 8 also belongs to 10. We cannot give the rank as 7 and 8 for both the 10s because it is a kind of discrimination. Therefore, we have to find out the average of the same. Therefore, it is 7 plus 8 divided by 2. So, you will be getting as 7.5. That 7.5 will be given for both the 10s. Okay. The same way, we will find out the rank for judge 2 also. Now, in judge 2, 18 is the highest mark. Therefore, 1 is given. First rank is given. 16 is the next highest, so second rank. 15 is the next highest, so third rank. Then comes 14 as the next rank, fourth rank. Then comes 12 and 12, 5 and 6. So 12, 5 and next to 12, 6. We cannot give it as 5 and 6 since it is same mark, isn't it? Therefore, we will find out the average. How do we find 5 plus 6 divided by 2? What do you get 5 plus 6 divided by 2? You will be getting it as 5.5. Therefore, 5.5 will be rewarded for both the contestants. The ranking system for both the contestants is 5.5. This is how you find out the rank. Now, let me tell you one more thing. Now, 5.5 is given here by adding 5 and 6. Am I right? So, 5th rank and 6th rank is already gone. 5th rank and 6th rank is already gone. How it is gone? Because we have added 5 and 6 then divided by 2 to find out the average. Now, the next rank should be 7. You will make mistake while you do the problem. Therefore, this is the area where you make the mistake. So, be very careful. When 5 and 6 is gone, the next rank should be 7. Okay, so 5 plus 6 by 2 means 5 and 6 is gone. The next rank for the next contestant should be 7. Okay, so the next highest number is 11. Therefore, I have given the number, the rank as 7th rank. Okay, so 5 and 6 is already gone. The next one is 7. After that, the next procedure is, as you all know, find out the difference between the rank. How will you find out the difference? 5 minus 2, 3 7.4, 5 minus 4, 3.5. The difference between two lines, 2 minus 8, minus 6. After finding all the D, what you have to do? Square the D. Okay? You have to square the D. Okay, square the D. So you will be getting it as all the squares of the D and find out the total of the D square. You will be getting it as 114. Now, there is a change in the formula which is applied here. Okay, the change in the formula is, here you know the ranks given are, marks given are equal. Therefore, we have found the rank by using the apparatus. Therefore, Spearman has given a different formula to find out the correlation coefficient when the variables are, when the marks are equal. Now, this is a formula given by him. The formula is Rk is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma d square plus 1 by 12 into m1 cube minus m1 plus 1 by 12 into m2 cube minus m2. Now here, to be very careful, here 10 is repeated twice in series X and number 12 is repeated twice in series Y, isn't it? Therefore, y, for y m is equal to 2, for y m is also equal to 2. That means here you can find m1 and m2 is written. This represents for series 1 and this represents for series 2. Now in series 1, m has repeated for 2 times. In series 2 also, in series 1, number 10 has repeated for 2 times. In series 2, number 12 has repeated for 2 times. So this m2 is for the second series, m1 is for the first series. So in the first series, number 10 has repeated for 2 times. In the second series, number 12 has repeated for 2 times. So once again, m1 is for the first series, m2 is for the second series. Now, if there is one more variable, we will write as m3. Here only 2 variables are there. Only 2 judges are there. If there are 3 judges, we could have written it as m3 for the next one. And whether there is repeated ones. Okay. Now, the formula is m1 cube as per given by Spearman. So, m1 cube, m1 stands for first series. Okay. First series, how many times number x has repeated? Number 10 has repeated 2 times. Number 10 has repeated. Therefore, instead of m1, you can write it as 2. 2 cube minus, again m1 is 2. Now, I told you m2 stands for the next series, judge y. In judge y, which number has repeated? 12. How many times number 12 has repeated? 2 times. So, m2 stands for 12. So, 12 cube. This cube is already there in this formula. M cube, 2 cube minus 2. Okay. So, this is how we do the calculation. Now, as per the formula, 1 minus 6 into sigma d square, already we found it as 115 plus 1 by 2 into 2 cube minus 2 plus 1 by 12 into 2 cube minus 2. 2 cube minus 2, I hope it is very clear. The first 2 cube stands for m1, the second 2 cube stands for m2. m1 cube and m2 cube. m1 is for the first series, m2 is for the second series. In the first series, number 2 has repeated, number 10 has repeated for 2 times. Okay? So how many times the number has repeated? That only we will be writing in the formula, not that number. How many times that number has repeated? Here 10 is repeated twice. Okay, so m1 is equal to 2. m2 is also equal to 2. Okay, if m2 is 3, we will write as 3. Then how will you find out the average? 3 numbers divided by 2. That is not there for you as in this for 12th standard. Only 2 variables, only 2 repeated marks are there for you. Okay, so 2 cube minus 2 divided by, this is n cube minus n, 8 cube minus 8. When you simplify it, 1 minus 6 into 114 plus 1 by 12 into, when you make it short, when you cut it, you will get 6 plus 1 by 12 into 6 divided by n cube is 512 minus 8. So that is 1 minus 6 into 114 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. When you cut it, you will get as 1 by 2 divided by 504. This 8 cube minus 8. Okay, now when you simplify it, you will get 1 minus 690 by 504. That is 1 minus 1.36 is equal to minus 0.36. So here you have to write the comment what kind of a relationship exists between the variables by looking into the table, degree of correlation. So this is how we find. So when the marks are given and when they are equal, find out the average for the ranks and award the rank for the contestants. Then apply the formula. Apply the formula which is given here, that is RK is equal to 1 minus 6 into sigma d square plus 1 by 12 into m1 cube minus m1. That m1 stands for the first series, m2 stands for the second series. In the first series, how many times a number has repeated? That number of times you have to write it as m1. That is 2 times. In the first series, number 10 has repeated. Therefore, this 2 cube. 2 is already given there in this formula. Minus m1 again 2 times number 10 has repeated. M2 stands for the second series. In the second series, number 12 has repeated for 2 times. Therefore, we write it as 2 cube minus 2. So this is how you find out the rank correlation coefficient as per when the marks given and then they are equal. Now finally, we will move on to the properties of correlation coefficient. That is the last topic of this chapter. Now summarization of what we have learned. Properties of correlation coefficient. A negative value of R indicates a negative relationship and a positive value of R relationship indicates positive relationship. Isn't it? If there is a negative value, if your answer is giving a negative value, you will write it as a negative correlation existing between the variables. If you get an answer with a positive value, what you will write? There exists a positive relationship between the variables. Then comes the next one. If R is equal to 0, the two variables are not correlated. There is no correlation if R is equal to 0. Then comes if R is equal to 1 or if R is equal to minus 1, there is a perfect positive and perfect negative correlation. When R is equal to plus 1, perfect positive correlation. When R is equal to minus 1, perfect negative correlation. You have learned this when you learn the scatter diagram and properties of correlation, isn't it? Now, the value of correlation always lies between minus 1 and positive 1. So these are the properties of correlation. I hope it is very clear to you. With this, we have come to an end of this chapter. Thank you.